Hello everybody. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Carly Gifford, and on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I post sit-down videos explaining to you all of the TikTok drama. Now, typically, I would say 90% of the time, these topics aren't anything that's real heavy, and a lot of times it's just like petty little gossip and whatnot. However, the case for this video today will be a little bit different, as it does talk about a little bit more graphic topics, and it doesn't really go into detail, but we will be talking about SA and SH. So if that is something that is going to negatively affect you, I highly recommend clicking off this video. But before we jump into it, I always tell you guys which chapstick I'm using and what I'm drinking. I am drinking a little bit of water, finally, because I've been so bad at drinking water. And I'm still using my Curology Vanilla Lip Balm. There is not much left, as you can see. There wasn't a lot in this tube to begin with, but it is really good and I would definitely recommend it. That being said, I think we'll just jump right into today's video. Today we are going to be talking about TikTok user Savanna Stone. Now, Savanna posts a lot of day in my life, vlog, workouts, and honestly a lot about her political and religious beliefs, which is something that we are going to be talking about today.
Definitely didn't go to the gym today, but I knew that my house needed a reset. Of course, I stripped all the sheets immediately and went right into my Bible study. I've been loving the Haven app because I send a Proverbs every single day to my husband's girls group chat. We're going through Proverbs together. And this app does such a great job at really breaking down the verses. Right after that, I popped into the Submissive Society community, just answering some introductions, made a quick breakfast. So you're saying as a married woman, I should be willing to give up my career for my family, learn how to make food from scratch, be submissive to my husband, have one bank account, no prenup, and be trapped for life in one relationship? Yeah, that would be a healthy marriage. Here's my 9-to-5 as a full-time wife. Luckily, with this job, every day looks different, but on the days that I wake up after the sun, I always get sunlight in my eyes first thing in the morning. It's so good for your melatonin production. Cannot start the day without my bed being made, and I always have chlorophyll water first thing in the morning. Then I made a double espresso with honey and cinnamon and started on my Bible study. I'm studying Proverbs right now, and I love the Haven app to help me really understand each verse and chapter. Put on some worship music, lit my candle, and it was time to get to cleaning. I did laundry, vacuumed literally everything, including the couch in my bed, wiped down all the baseboards. I just really needed a good reset. Then it was time to go to all of my beauty appointments for the day. Got my nails done. Fringe tips with chrome is always my go-to. It feels so nice to have this set back on. Also got my hair cut and a blowout. I'm not gonna lie, I went home and took like an hour nap, got back up, went on a walk, and by this time Noah was home and it was time to make dinner. We did homemade pizzas tonight, which was so fun. They turned out really good. Definitely post a homemade crust recipe soon, and then we ended the night with family cuddles. Good night. I'm done scrolling on TikTok for the day because I just came across a video of Sydney Sweeney in a bathtub saying, "Hello, dirty little boys, do you want my body?" And she's doing a body wash collab with Dr. Squatch. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Where apparently she's selling drops of her actual bath water in the bars. First of all, there's no way her bills are this high. Like, girl is an actress. I think she's fine financially, but are we really, like, have we really come to this level of degeneracy? Are we like this desperate for attention and money?
Now, like I said, Savanna posts a lot about her religious and political beliefs. She is a Republican and she is Christian, and that is something that is very big and very important to her. Not hating on her because of that at all. Honestly, in this video, I'm not going to be really giving my opinion just because I get tore up so bad when I do give my opinion on topics like this, so I'm not going to. But, like I said, being a Republican and a Christian are two very, very big things in Savanna's life, and she posts about them quite regularly. Savanna is 19 years old and married to her husband, Noah. Now, the controversy that we're going to be talking about has to do with this TikTok that Savanna uploaded.
These are my sex hot takes. If you get offended, I'm sorry, but they probably apply to you, and the Bible is offensive. Number one, corn is cheating. Even if both of you consent to watching it together, it is still adultery. All forms of corn is cheating, along with your smutty romance novels. And just so we're covering everything here, men, if you get off to any other woman other than your wife, you are committing adultery. Number two, consent doesn't exist in marriage. I know this is gonna piss a lot of people off, but when you get married, your body belongs to your husband and your husband's body belongs to you. Two become one, body, mind, soul, and spirit. Number 3, it is your responsibility to stay attractive to your spouse. Just because you found the one doesn't mean it's time to let yourself go. Obviously, both of you are going to change as you age, but that doesn't mean to stop taking care of yourself. I'm really lucky to have a great example of this growing up. Both of my parents still go to the gym, they still eat healthy, they still take care of themselves, and they both look amazing. Number 4, chastity is reserved for fasting and prayer, not because you just don't feel like it. There are obviously many reasons why you should not deny each other as husband and wife, but women, specifically for your husband, when you continuously deny him, you are opening up that temptation for him to go elsewhere or to look at other things, okay? You two are one, body, mind, soul, and spirit. This video applies to married people only. Love ya.
Now, when you watch that video just at face value, yeah, it seems very, very, very problematic. And this is what some people on the internet that have seen it kind of thought about it.
So this came across my feed last night where this woman was giving hot takes about marriages, and one of her hot takes was that in marriage you no longer have consent. Your body belongs to your spouse, you don't have autonomy anymore. I want to talk about somebody who thought the same way. His name was Matthew Howe. He's a judge from the 1600s, and he argued why men shouldn't be charged with marital rape. This is what he says. The husband cannot be guilty of rape committed by himself upon his lawful wife. For by their mutual matrimonial consent and contract, the wife hath given up herself in this kind unto her husband, which she cannot retract. Did you hear what that said? That is saying that there is no such thing as marital rape. The husband can do that whenever he wants, because the wife doesn't have a say anymore of what happens to her own body. She doesn't have autonomy. She doesn't have the ability to remove consent. This is what you're promoting, by the way. This is why people say that purity culture creates rape culture, because it does. If you spread this message that once you're married, that's a free pass, you can use that person's body and they don't have the ability to tell you no, that's what this creates. You're promoting rape. And you are saying that they have the right to rape when you say this. There's no way around it. Your argument is the same exact argument Christians have made in the past for why we shouldn't be able to charge people for rape in marriage. I just want you to let that sink in.
Consent doesn't exist in marriage. I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but when you get married, your body... Consent doesn't exist in marriage. I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but when you get married, your body belongs to your husband and your husband's body belongs to you.
Hey, so marital rape is illegal. That is not an opinion. It is illegal. And all that video shows me is that she is probably incredibly privileged, because that is a very privileged take to have. And if she or somebody else is watching this and does not think that they are privileged and they agree with her take, let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever had a family member pass away and you are lying in bed deep in grief and crying, and then somebody decides that they want to take your body and they are allowed to do that in that moment and consent does not exist? Have you ever been body slammed by your spouse like I was body slammed and then felt like you weren't allowed to say no? Because apparently in marriage, consent does not exist. Have you ever had cancer and been sick after chemotherapy and then your husband decides to take you? Has that ever happened to you? Because that is actually a story that somebody submitted to me, and they were told by their Christian marriage therapist that it was her fault that her husband ended up cheating on her when she had cancer. Have you ever woken up in fear and disoriented because somebody is taking your body and they are allowed to do that without asking, without waking you up, because apparently consent does not exist? Have you ever said no before and someone not listen and feel that level of fear knowing that your voice does not matter? These are all real stories that have happened, and I'm sure that they have not happened to you. Consent in marriage does exist, and you did not sign away your body the second that you decided to get married. And also, you can just say no. 100% that is valid. You do not have to have a reason. I am just trying to reach these people on a very human level.
And to be perfectly honest, I think all of those takes are pretty valid. Now, because of all the backlash from the public, Savanna decided to post a follow-up video just kind of explaining what she meant. So part of me kind of wonders, is this a little bit of rage bait where she posted it knowing that it came off very, very controversial and then knew that she was going to get a lot of attention from that video and then post a follow-up, like further explaining her point? I don't know if that was her idea, but that's kind of how it comes across to me. So this is her explanation for what she said in the previous video.
I'm going to explain this on here because what I said got completely misconstrued on this platform, but
Welcome to TikTok, where you say one phrase and people assume they know everything about your life. Could I have worded this better in the original video? Yes. Should I have went into more explanation? Yes. But if you watch my content, you know that I naturally speak in generalizations and I'm just very blunt and open and honest. First and foremost, when I speak about rules in marriage or hot takes in marriage, or whatever it may be, I am speaking about a healthy, loving, and godly marriage because that is my reality. I understand that's not the reality for a lot of people, but that is the perspective that I'm coming from. Because if you were in an abusive marriage or a marriage full of infidelity, these things would not apply to you because we have a whole other issue here. So when I said the phrase consent doesn't exist in marriage because the husband's body belongs to the wife and the wife's body belongs to the husband, I was not condoning any sort of rape or physical abuse. Those things are obviously not biblical. So when you get married, you are one body, you are one flesh, and if you're not Christian and you don't believe the Bible, you don't have to listen to anything I'm saying. But I did see a lot of Christian women disagreeing with the fact that when you get married, your husband's body belongs to you and your body belongs to your husband. The part that completely got missed was when I said, your husband's body also belongs to you. It's not some sort of power struggle where the husband is dominant over the wife. You guys are equal. So for husbands, this means you should also not deny your wife. And if she wants to do certain things in the bedroom, you should do them for her. And I specifically want to read 1 Corinthians 7, just a few verses in here. So I'm reading verse 7, 2 through 5, okay? But because of the temptation to sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights and likewise the wife to her husband. For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement, so both of you consenting, for a limited time that you may devote yourselves to prayer, but then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Okay, so let's dissect this. First of all, verse 2 says, each person should have their own wife and own husband so they're not sexually tempted, so that we're not just going around sleeping with everybody. We should only sleep with our husband or wife. Obviously, we don't want infidelity in the marriage. Verse 3, the husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights and likewise the wife to her husband. So this is what I was referring to about consent. And everyone threw scenarios in there that were physically abusive scenarios, right? Like I'm going to say one of them, and I'm sorry for being graphic, but one of them was like, well, what if I'm 8.5 months pregnant and I'm throwing up over the toilet? Should he force himself into me? Like you're saying that's okay. I am not saying that's okay. And the Bible says that husbands should love their wives. That would not be an act of love at all. And a good man will understand if you are sick, if you're not feeling good, if you're pregnant, he wouldn't force himself onto you. So that is not what I was saying, but I was referring to this verse. Verse 4, for the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And then it says, likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, which is what I just said, right? Like, it's an equal playing field. Like, you guys belong to each other. You belong to God, but you are also each other's. And then verse 5, which I also talked about in the Sex Hot Takes video, do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time that you may devote yourselves to prayer. So in this case, both the husband and wife have to come to agreement together saying, okay, we're going to be abstinent for a month to devote ourselves to prayer, or 2 weeks. But then it also says, but then come together again so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. And that is another thing that I refer to where I said, if you are constantly denying your husband, you are opening up room for temptation. If your husband constantly denied you, he may also open you up for room for temptation. Men are more sexual creatures, so that's why I specifically said men, but it applies to both of you. So in hindsight, that video was referring to a godly, healthy, loving marriage. If I was sick, and I told my husband, listen, I'm just not feeling good, he would completely respect that. He wouldn't force himself onto me, and any good man under God would not do that to you. I also believe that a healthy marriage is a sexual marriage. So as a woman, if you find yourself constantly not wanting to sleep with your husband or constantly denying him because you just don't feel like it, there may be a huge intimacy issue there. I hope that this explains where I'm coming from, and if it doesn't, I'll try to answer your comments, and you can message me anytime.
And she made kind of another video just sort of acknowledging the public's response and whatnot. But beyond that, she really hasn't said much more about it. Now, Savanna has posted some other sort of hot takes in the past. She's posted like rules that she has for her marriage.
You guys love the first one, so here are some more controversial rules in my marriage. To me, they're completely normal, but with the woke society we live in, apparently these are all controversial. Number one is my husband's money is also my money. We never use the term my money. We always say our money. Nothing is separate. We have all combined bank accounts. We have 100% financial transparency with each other. Another rule that we have to add on to this is that when we want to buy something, we wait 24 hours and then we also have to ask the other person. This prevents compulsive shopping. And also when I see like a $70 shirt and then I think to myself, I have to go ask my husband to buy this, I almost feel stupid and embarrassed because I'm like, I don't need this $70 shirt. So then it's like a reverse psychology thing to not buy it in the first place.
Now in those videos, because she's posted I believe 3 of them now, she explains a little bit more what she means when she says rules for her marriage. So that's what makes me think that this video about women and consent is maybe a little bit of rage bait, because she doesn't explain really what she means in that video. She waits a little bit and then posts another one. So I think it could be a little bit of rage bait, which we see a lot on TikTok, but that is kind of as much as I'm gonna say about that whole situation. That is really what's been going on with Savanna Stone. I did see one of her videos pop up on my For You page, and honestly, I had no idea who she was, so then I was like, wow, interesting that then, shortly after, I see her again. But it does make sense, because she does post quite a few videos that maybe could be misconstrued in the wrong way and could cause a little controversy, so I was like, that makes sense why I got it. But that is that on Savanna. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because it is totally free, and I have so far up until today posted every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of this year. My goal is to never miss an upload. So yeah, so far it's going well, but we're not even, oh wait, yeah, we are halfway through the year. Oh, go me. Anyways, have a good one, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.